Come on. I like that, y'all. The H, the E, the
Are you a L.I.V.E teacher? L.I.V.E teachers not only think outside of the box, they break the box.
I like that, like that. The H, the E,
Are you a L.I.V.E teacher? A L.I.V.E teacher is someone who never stops learning.
We know that highly efficacious, efficient, and effective educators expect their students to succeed.
Yes, y'all. Watch out.
L.I.V.E, Highly Efficacious, Effective, and Efficient Educators, is a series of 22 live lessons that focus on different areas of teacher efficacy, advocacy, and support.
L.I.V.E teacher brings fun into the classroom.
L.I.V.E teachers bring excitement to the classroom.
They welcome change into their classroom. They are masters of the subject and the content that they teach. And most importantly, they never stop learning. So again, I ask, are you a L.I.V.E teacher?
We're excited that you can join us, so stay tuned for our upcoming L.I.V.E lessons, and we look forward to learning and growing with you. Thank you.
Yeah, come on. I like that, y'all. The H, the E, the H, the H, the E. The H, the E, the H, the H, the E. I like that, like that. The H, the E, H, E, H, E, Heck yeah. Yes, y'all. Watch out. H, E,
Hey,
Hello.
good evening, everyone. How y'all doing?
Hey.
Hey, everybody.
Good evening. Thank you guys for joining us tonight for our L.I.V.E series. Whether it is your first time joining us or you have been a repeat learner, we are so excited that you are here with us tonight. I am Isis Mann, an educator from South Carolina, and Miss Levels, tag, you're it.
Hi, everybody. I'm Lavetta Levels, educator here in Dallas, Texas. So excited to be here. Welcome, everyone. Make sure that you're engaged with us. Make sure you're commenting in the comments. Give us some feedback. You'll have an opportunity later to answer questions of our distinguished panel today, of our distinguished guest today. Also, please tell us where you're watching us from. I know we usually have Mr. Harvey way down in Florida, and Latasha in LA, Yolanda down in Houston, Labata in DeSoto. So we want to shout out to everybody, especially shout out to all the Texas people. Hey, everybody. Tag, Simone, you're it.
So while she calling out people's name, I'm going to call out North Carolina. So if you from North Carolina, post your city and your city in here. I am from North Carolina, but I live in Maryland. So shout out to all you guys in the DMV. Hey, Miss Soroya, we love you here at L.I.V.E. So welcome, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for engaging with us today. You're in for a great show today. Keishla, tag, you're it.
All right, everybody. Good evening, and thank you all for joining us. I don't know if you all can see me, but I can't see you. So I'm just excited, though, to be here. Thank God for technology. Tonight is July 2nd, 2020, and we have an amazing presenter with us tonight. So I'll go ahead and introduce our presenter. Again, thank you all for joining us tonight. We have Miss Kimberly Daniel. Kimberly Daniel is a CTAE Master Teacher Leader and Founder Director of Keystone Instructional Services. Kimberly is a 12-year veteran CTE teacher. Prior to transitioning to Atlanta Public Schools, she served as the General Management Pathway Teacher, College and Career Center Advisor, and After-School At-Risk Tutoring Program Coordinator at North Springs High, as well as CTE Business and Finance Pathway Specialist and Learning Architect for Fulton County Schools. She has earned an AAT degree in Computer Information Systems, a bachelor's degree in Business Administration, and a master's degree in Education. Kimberly will finish her Tier 1 education certification at Georgia State this summer. She is a certified global career development facilitator who has taught CTAE courses at the middle and high school levels in Georgia and South Carolina. She has also earned her culinary proficient coaching endorsement as multiple certifications in entrepreneurship and small businesses. I think Kimberly has a lot to share with us this evening, you guys. Kimberly is an alumni member of Leadership Georgia, one of the nation's oldest and most successful leadership training programs for young business, civic, and community leaders. In her spare time, she enjoys partnering with various community organizations, reading, and writing. Kimberly has authored 3 self-help empowerment books: God Was Waiting on Me, How to Survive High School, and Start Right, Stay Right. She has been working to prepare students for life after high school since 2008, and her work inside and outside of the classroom centers around equipping students and educators with the necessary tools to excel in every area of their lives. Bridging the gap between schools and communities is a priority for Kimberly. She believes educating, equipping, and empowering parents, students, and educators with the knowledge needed to work in partnership with one another is the key to educating the whole child and puts them in position to change the world for the better. Ladies and gentlemen, help me to welcome Miss Kimberly Daniel.
Hello, everyone. Such a joy to be here tonight.
And I'm muted. I think Keishla was responding, but somehow, could you hear her?
I could not.
Okay. And I just wanted to jump in and and make sure that you could let us know when you were ready to begin. But I know for sure that she did get through all of your bios, so we did hear all of that. So I wanted to hop in and welcome you again and let you get started whenever you were ready.
Okay, I am ready whenever you are.
All righty. So I just need you to push your screen up for me so that I can share it with everyone.
You should be seeing it now.
Okay. All righty, and I'm gonna slide out and let you do what you do.
All right. Welcome everyone tonight to our presentation on career and college planning that works. I want to say thank you all for joining. Grab something to write with. There's a lot of information that we will cover. Again, thank you, D-Tech, for inviting me to this platform to be able to share my passion for college and career planning. It is something that is near and dear to my heart, and I've been in this for a number of years. Again, just put your questions in the chat because we will go through a lot of information and I'm sure you're going to have questions. Put those in the chat. We will have a question and answer period at the end, and my contact information will be at the end as well so that you can reach out to me if we don't get a chance to cover all the information or you have some questions that you think about later on. Feel free to contact me. So tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to discuss preparing our students for college, for career, and understanding that this is a partnership between parents, students, counselors, teachers, and community members. We're all in this together. Our ultimate goal in all of this is to make sure that our students are equipped, they're empowered, they're educated about all things career and college, because failing to do that for them could, lead them to just unnecessary student loan debt, many years of trying to go back and do it over, changed degrees, again, prolonging the time that they're in college, discovering that they're in college and they're in there for the wrong major. We just want to make sure, again, that we're preparing our students to make those educated choices as they move through this process. So a little bit about my backstory. You heard some from my bio, but I was a previous director of financial aid at a college. And that's kind of what led me to get out of that and move back to the high school level. I just saw so much coming to me that were students that were not prepared for that stage, or parents that were not prepared for that stage. Student loan debt was crazy. Parents were signing away on every document that they could just to be able to get their kid to experience what has been led to believe that that's the next step, that's the next stage, and you have to go that route in order to be successful. So within all of this, I wanted to make sure I could go back and I could make a difference. And so I did that. So I've been in the high school, middle school area for about 13 years now, and specifically working with entrepreneurship related courses or within the college and career center. Before moving into either of those roles, I worked with adults who were going back to school. They were transitioning. Maybe they lost their job due to no fault of their own. They were displaced. So I worked with Georgia Department of Labor, doing a lot of assessment as far as aptitudes for adults and some high school students as well. And then I transferred into the technical school sector where I did technical school financial aid for those students. And again, most recently as college and career center advisor. But I've worked with adults and students throughout this process of identifying, first of all, the best career fit for them, and then moving forward into what's next, what's my path in order to get there. My why is very personal. It's extremely personal. I just have this focus of wanting to make sure that I can actually be what those students need when they need it. And so going through that helps me to understand that, okay, that person I didn't have growing up, I can be that person for the students that I see in the school system now. That person that my friends, we often get together as adults and talk about if we had known this, if we had known that, this route, that route, things that other people seem to be privy to, but we just did not know. Had we known that information back then, things might have turned out a little bit differently. We might have taken an easier route. I went that trial and error route. And, somebody in that who's listening out there, you may have gone that trial and error route as well. But there's just better ways to do it. And so my why, like I said, is very personal. And I dedicate my life, my career, everything that I do to making sure that I am being who those students need being who parents need, being who the community leaders need, being that bridge between the community and the schools to make sure that we are partnering together to make sure our kids are getting the best possible education experience they can. So again, I want to give you a little brief explanation of the students that I normally see in my profession. Some of you as parents, you know these students because they belong to you. Some of you as employers, you know these students because they work for you. Some of you as counselors, school counselors, you work with these kids on a daily basis. But you know, there's that got it together student, that student that you just really have to facilitate. You really, they come in, they've got their spreadsheets together as to what colleges they're interested in. They have their scholarship spreadsheets together. They know the dates. They know what's required. They have all of their information where it needs to be. And so again, you just become like a facilitator to them. You help point them in resources that they might have missed. You put them in front of people who have some other alternative program that they just may not have heard from, and then they're ready to go after it. That got it together student is that student. If I put out some information and I remind 101 from the school, that student is probably in my office within the next 5 to 10 minutes because they want to know more. So you have that type of student. Then you have the headed in the right direction type student. This student, you know, we're rolling. We've been doing our due diligence some. We've been working through the process. We understand what comes next. We just kind of sort of need some more guidance along the way. That student is able to tell you where they want to go. They just may not know exactly how to get there, but they're headed in the right direction. They've got their heads on straight. They've been communicating with some people. Maybe they had an older brother, sister, or something like that went through this process ahead of them and they watched. So they're headed in the right direction. Again, they just need a little bit more guidance. Someone to help them probably just check off their to-do list as they go through. And then you have the hold my hand through it all student. That type of student that before you can turn the corner to go to your office, they're already at your office door. They've heard about this process or they heard about that process, but they're not sure about themselves or what they should do or how they should do it. And they're just there. And they want you to, again, just be with them throughout the process, every step by step. They trust in you. They use you as a valuable resource, and they understand that you are there to help them. So that hold my hand through it all student, they're going to be there. You're going to see them often. Again, you turn the corner, they're at your office before you get to your office. They're always responding back really quickly because they want to know, is this for me? You know, what do I need to do? How do I do it? And then we have that lost in the sauce student. And again, that's the one that may come to me in April of their senior year. And really now I'm ready. I'm ready for you to help me do this. I'm ready for you to help me pick out my career. I'm ready for you to help me apply to college. Now, mind you, this kid is going to graduate within like the next 4 to 5 weeks, but now they're ready. They're ready for that experience. So it's not that, you know, all is lost. And again, like I said at the beginning, some of you as parents, you know, you might be the parent of one of those got it together kids. You might be the parent of a headed in the right direction student. You might be the parent of the one that needs you to hold their hand through it all. And then again, you may be the parent of the lost in the sauce students too. You know, it just happens. This is the world that we're living in, but it's our responsibility as the adults, as the leaders, to make sure no matter where they are, that they understand there's a way to accomplish their goals. So that's what's most important, understanding that there is a way. It might not be the easiest way that they thought it was going to be, like the way their friend did it or a friend of a friend. It might not be the route that they intended to go, but nevertheless, there is still a route that they can take to get to where they want to be in life. We just got to make sure we sit down and we get down to business. So that's a lot of what I do in my profession, whether it's inside the school system or in my personal business where I coach students and families. That's a lot of what we do. And so again, the purpose coming on here today is to make sure that as parents, as teachers, educators, as counselors, as community partners, that we all understand that we're in this together. And no matter if you are, that student was with you on the job as a community partner, you can know this information and be speaking into them, speak that life into them. As a teacher, you can be an ally from within that classroom just by understanding this information. And again, we're all speaking life into that student. As a parent, understanding that there's a huge role that you have to play in this process of getting them career and college ready. A lot of times, you hear that it's the counselor's responsibility, or they place that within the school system. But again, when we understand that this is bridging the gap and that we are partners in the success of the students, that's when they transition more effectively from being a lost in the sauce student to that got it together student. It was that partnership. It was everybody being knowledgeable and being able to come together and work for the betterment of those students. So again, that's why we're here tonight. I'm going to go through a lot of information. Again, if you have questions, please put it in the chat. We will have a question and answer period at the end. And also, again, my contact information will be there. If you would need to reach out, we can discuss some of this and I can point you in some directions as to where you should go next. All right, these are probably the two biggest words of the night, that if you don't take anything else, make sure you understand it depends. There's no cookie cutter method. There's no one size fits all method to career and college prep. This is truly individual. This is one-on-one. This is personal. This is when it takes us sitting down and understanding we're dealing with somebody's future. We're wanting to point them in the right direction for the rest of their life. Now, it's not going to be foolproof. It's not going to be, guaranteed, but they're going to have a better leg up or a better understanding of what it is that they need to do to find out what their purpose is, why they're here. And it's very important that, again, we all are partnering in this with these students to make sure they go to the next step and they go, with the knowledge and information that they need to be successful. So we're going to start with career planning. And you're probably asking me, why career planning before college planning? So I want you to take a moment, and I'm going to just call out some questions here to you. And I want you to, think about, do you know any of these people, or have you heard about any of these people? So how many of you possibly, and you can put this in the chat, you can type this in, raise your hand, put an emoji in, whatever it is. How many of you know someone who graduated from college, secured a job, and they hated it? It was what they went to college for. It was what they planned on doing, what they had been told that they were good at, or they should do, or there's a lot of money in this. So they went that route. They finished high school. They went on to college. They got that degree. They got that job, and then they hated their job. So if you know that type of person, put something in the comment section. Or what about that person, do you know, that went to high school, went off to college, and before you know it, they were back home before the end of their freshman year? College just wasn't for me. I tried it. It just wasn't for me. That's a lot of times you hear that in those people who come back very quickly. I've seen students come back before the end of the first semester. They didn't even finish out their first year with that experience or that mindset that college was not for me. So if you know a person that said college was not for me and they came back just as quickly as they went off, put something in the comments for that person. What about the person who graduated from high school? They graduated from college too. They secured their dream job. The only thing about it was they found out somebody else was there with the same dream job, same title, same pay. However, they took a totally different route. They got there faster and cheaper. And here we are on the same level, except for the fact that they've got more seniority than I did because they got there before I did. So I took the traditional route. I did what everybody said I was supposed to do, go A, B, C, D. But here it is, somebody, and somehow they skipped from A to D, and I didn't know that was possible. I didn't know that was out there. So again, if you know someone in that scenario, chime in the comments and let us know if you know that person. But my main point in telling you this, or even giving you those questions to reflect on, is to understand that the college, the career planning process, that life after high school process, it takes effort. It takes a lot of information, a lot of time and prep, because you want to make sure that you know what you're dealing with, because you can get into some costly mistakes, and it can cost you in time and it can cost you in money. I'm a student loan payer backer. So I'm in the process right now paying back student loans. Had I known what I know now, I wouldn't be in this situation. So again, when I say I want to be that person that I needed, that I really mean it. I mean it from personal experience. I mean it from my own 5 grown children's experiences. Those things that I knew, that I did not know, that I know now could have changed a lot of our lives. And so again, when I say my why is personal, it is truly personal why I'm in this service that I do. You hear a lot of people talk about hard work. This is hard work. This is why I do this. I want to save people from being in student loan debt. I want to save people time and effort from trying to get to where they're going to eventually end up. Many of us know people who have gone that long route around and around and around, and they eventually get to where they're supposed to be. I would prefer that they not go the round and around and around and around method, and that we chart a path to them getting to that route to them getting to that end result and the route that's best for them. So I'm a huge supporter of the college experience. I know what college can give someone. I know about the relationships that you build there. I know about how you learn about life from different perspectives, from people when you start to commingle with other people who may not look like you, act like you, think like you, or whatever. And so your world perspective begins to expand. So I'm a big supporter of the college experience. I am. I'm just a bigger supporter of the college experience when students are pursuing a college degree for the right reasons, and more importantly, at the right time. Not at the right time. That's the thing. We'll talk about the right time a little bit later, but the right timing is imperative and key as well. So in career planning, for my parents who are online, I want you to think about making sure that you're taking time. And I'm talking about from a young perspective. We talk about this, we think through this, even with my grandkids. So I counsel my own kids about this with their own children. What are they naturally interested in early on in life? What do they just like automatically cling to, love, and they can't put it down? Figure out what it is that they are so inclined to doing and they love to do, and foster a love for it. Figure out how you can turn it into a project, a career project at every level. When they're younger, you would just expand on it, and you'll watch as their interest starts to shift or change. But again, it's that process, and they need that along the way so they can just play around in what they like and figure out what they don't like. But they're doing it in a safe environment. They're doing it before it costs them time. They're doing it before it costs them money. And that's one of the things that we want to make sure that we're providing for our students, that avenue, that platform to be able to try it on. Job shadowing opportunities, making sure, like a Saturday, once COVID is done, once it's gone and whatever, and they're able to get out, allow them to go out and job shadow someone who's actually in that career. Let them see what the daily activities are like. What are the tasks? What are the duties in this? Because, sometimes you can look at that paycheck, or you can look at what the internet says the average salary is, and your eyes just get huge because of the money, or the possibility of the money you'll be able to make. But not understanding that sometimes with that huge amount of money or that salary comes a huge amount of responsibility, and some of those responsibilities may not be pleasing to them. So again, let them follow through, or they might have thought it was going to be this glamorous event or activities that they would be participating in, and get in there and figure like, no, this isn't what I thought it would be like. But again, they're learning this through a safe environment, and that's what we want for them, to be able to do that in a safe environment. Extracurricular activities. We need to make sure that they are active and involved. I know it's COVID-19. I know we've been on quarantine, and a lot of things are limited, but there are also some things that are happening in the virtual world. So some of them got very creative, and they switched it, and they transformed whatever they were going to do in person, face to face. They switched it to a virtual platform. Well, we just have to we have to put on our investigative hats as parents and figure it out. Figure out where they are, what are they offering, Google it, YouTube University, whatever it is we can find. And you can also be very creative in this time. You can figure out ways that you at home can start putting those extracurricular hours in, those community service hours in, even during COVID. A lot of platforms are offering free computer access to video platforms where you can actually meet with people right online, just like we're doing right now. So you can set up a Zoom account, you can set up a Google Meets, you can do various platforms, and you can like tutor kids. You can teach people how to set up their cell phone. You can teach people how to use Instagram. You can do work for small businesses. You can run their social media platforms. There's so much information out there that people get bogged down in a lot of information, and they just rather get somebody else to do it. So those are activities that you can get your kids into doing, and it could become part of their extracurricular activities that they will talk about on their college applications, that they'll talk about on job applications, that they'll talk about in scholarship applications. So again, what are they doing in their time off when it's outside of school, when no one is making them do it? What are they out there doing that they could write about on these college applications? Again, that's going to be something that's really, really important to them, and finding their career. Again, you want to know, is this something I would love to do? If you're wanting to be a teacher, you want to be an educator, start tutoring some kids. Start seeing how that feels, and what you can do, and how you can make it creative, how you can get it over to them that learning is fun. So go ahead and start that process now. Again, summer programs, they're offered through local colleges. One comes to mind here in the Atlanta area for 9th grade males who are minorities. They have what's called the SMASH program, and it focuses on STEM. So that's really, really huge right now in our world, STEM initiatives. And so to be able to get kids in that program, and it's a free program, and they will be able to work with mentors and people who are on Morehouse's campus, and they will follow them through, they will mentor them, and they would do a lot of STEM activities. Those options are out there, they're available, and it will help them solidify right now what is it that they're naturally interested in, or just would I love to spend time doing this career. You can look at Girls Who Code. There are so many organizations out there that are providing information for students, and they are trying to give it away. They want you to come. They want you to be here and available. They want you to learn about everything that's out there before you actually get out there. They want you to have a working knowledge of all of this information and all of the platforms that are out there. And the Girls Who Code, they are doing amazing work. And to be so young and be so in depth with the learning and the knowledge about coding, that is key. That is something that will put them ahead of the game, ahead of so many people that have, gone the traditional route to gain this knowledge. And they're learning it as 6th, 7th, 8th graders, 9th graders in high school. They're learning these marketable skills. So again, what are you doing to make sure that you're just helping your kids foster an understanding of what these careers would be like? And then, of course, there's youth science. I love youth science. It was created by some of the people who made the ASVAB for the military. But it's $29. You can go out. It is a full comprehensive aptitude assessment, and it comes back with information based on how you're naturally wired, your natural aptitude. Not saying it's 100%, foolproof, like I said before, but it gives kids a lot of information. It gives parents a lot of information. It gives your teachers, your counselors, everyone that's going to be planning or helping you plan out your next steps. It gives you a ton of information. So it's at uscience.com. You can go there, complete that. Takes about 2 hours. You want them to be really focused, no cell phone around or anything like that, because you want to get those results back, and you want valid information. So you want to go ahead, and there's a parent portal out there that shows you how to prep your kids for taking it. It's a really, really great assessment. It really is. A lot of college and career coaches are using that first before they even start working with your kids. They use that so they can see, again, what schools are you thinking about going to? What careers are you naturally wired, and how do we match those two together? There's an abundance of, picking the ESPN school. That's where I'm going because it's always on ESPN and the football team is winning and everything else. But there's so much more that goes into career and college planning, and we need to start there early. So as parents, you have a lot of things that you can do to, again, help start bridge that partnership that we're talking between the counseling department, college and career advisors in schools, parents, everybody. We're bridging that partnership together so that we are working together on these initiatives. So now we can talk about our educators, our teachers who are on the line. You can always bring in guest speakers. That is a wonderful route so that kids can, you always as a teacher, and this is one of the things that, I really didn't have to hear it as much because I'm in CTAE. And, so my kids could naturally immediately get the correlation. They knew how they would use this outside of my classroom. Some of your other courses, it's a little bit more difficult to convince a kid that you need this. So you can bring in guest speakers that show how they use what they learned in high school, or how they show how this lesson plan is relevant, and they actually do use this or that in their careers. So you can bring in guest speakers if they can't come into the classroom, again, Zooms, Microsoft Teams, Google Meets, whatever. I have people Zoom into my classroom all the time because, again, I want to make sure they're matching what I'm telling them to the real world. So I want them to get that relevancy and get that right then and there. And also teachers, recommend them for the CTE, CTAE classes that are there, the pathways that are available. Students are able to earn certifications, they earn cords for graduation. They get that real world experience. A lot of times once they complete 3 courses, they can get a work-based learning position where they're actually working while in school, and they're, again, gaining valuable experience into that job before I even start that job for real after I decide where I'm going after high school. So again, all of this is relevant to career planning, and we have to, again, partner together. And then please, teachers, by all means, please, please, please help us dispel that myth that in order to be successful, you have to take these AP courses. You got to get AP this, AP that, AP this, and that. And there is a reason for AP. There's a reason for honors courses. There's a reason for dual enrollment, and there's a reason for CTAE. It doesn't have to be one or the other. It could be all 4. It could be 1 or 2. It could be 2 or 3. But it's an individual assessment of what your child needs, determining where they're going based on advanced placement. Do I need to do this? And a lot of times with advanced placement, you want to be verifying with that college that they're going to accept those. So yes, the rigor and everything is going to prepare that student, but sometimes you're going to take that same class over because they're going to just use it as an elective. Honors courses, of course, you're going to be challenged. Some of these are required for state aid. So when you're talking about Hope in Georgia, those are things that they want you to have, those rigorous courses. When you look at dual enrollment has taken off in the last few years. And although it's been around for a long time, a lot more students and families are taking advantage of it. It's an amazing way, if your student is ready, to go ahead and get some of those college level courses under their belt, to be on the college campus, or even as we're doing right now, to be able to take it online. So again, they're earning that college degree while they're in high school. Again, it would be a benefit to probably anybody to go ahead and have 2 years of their college taken care of before they leave the high school. So dual enrollment is a great process, and it fits for some. It may not be for everybody. That person may not be able to handle dual enrollment and need to be on the campus in advanced placement. Again, this is individual, and that's what I want everybody to understand from this. This is not cookie cutter. This is individual. Everybody has to do this on their own. They have to think about the process on their own and what best fits them. And of course, we talked about CTAE. So our community partners that are out there, join the CTAE advisory boards. We need you to come into our schools and see if we're teaching our kids the most up-to-date, relevant information. For me, it was entrepreneurship. I had entrepreneurs in my room all the time, marketing gurus, accounting gurus, social media management gurus, you name it. They were in there, videographers, photographers, teaching these kids real world skills so they can make sure when I walk out of this classroom, I'm up to date. I know what they're using in the real world, and I can use it. I can go straight into their organization and be a benefit. So that is very important. Join our CTAE advisory boards. Help us to make sure that our practices are relevant in the healthcare industry, in graphics, in construction, in veterinary, whatever is out there. Join those advisory boards because we need you. I think there's this disconnect thinking that, we've got it taken care of on our end, and the teachers and the school system is like, okay, well, they'll fix this on their end once they get out to that company. But we need to bridge that gap and work together now because it's just better for our students and they're better prepared. Partner with our work-based learning coordinators. I can't tell you how many opportunities our kids get for paid and non-paid internships. It's always going to be something that I'll say, yeah, you might not be getting monetary monetarily paid for this money wise, but you're getting experience that is going to be just as valuable, because you're going to be able to put that on your resume, show your portfolio of work that you're doing, what you're capable of, those marketable skills. But paid internships are good too. We have a lot of kids that do paid internships. So if you have the means and you have the ability, pay our young people. They do valuable work, and you will be surprised at how they can help you cut your costs. They can help you speed up your processes, because a lot of the information that they know, and they know how to do it in an early age, they're trained heavily by professionals who are inside these schools, who probably have their own business doing it. And so they're working on projects together, they're teaching them, and you wouldn't think that those kids have those skills, or you're sitting around in that mindset where I got to wait till they graduate college so I can bring them in. So again, it's all about us rewriting what we're used to, looking at practices differently, and seeing that, again, this world is ever changing. And our students are adapting to it. And we as parents, teachers, community partners, we need to be able to adapt as well. So as we move forward, we talked about the career process. We talked about parents, teachers, community members, and how they help in that process of career planning. So now we're going to transition to college planning. So sorry if this shocks you, but again, college may or may not be the next step after high school. Please be aware of that. We got, remember that it depends slide? We got kids now who are bypassing college altogether. They're going straight to work with some great marketable skills that they have learned. And sometimes it's not even that they learned it in the school. Sometimes they've been out there and they've been to that YouTube University. They've been to Google University, and they have some crazy skills that they have self-taught. And they're able to transition. Now, that just because they don't go straight out of high school doesn't mean they're not going. I think that's a big fear that some people have. If my kid does not go straight, they will not go. They'll do like I did, and then it took me 17 years to go back and everything else. I think a lot of times we bring our own self-imposed limitations, or people-imposed limitations, and we place them on our youth. But the world is definitely changing, and our children are changing with it. And so we need to as well in those positive aspects. Again, they have marketable skills that they're learning, and they're able to do some great things with those skills. They're earning degrees while they're in high school. We talked about dual enrollment. They're choosing technical schools and happy to do it. That's where I want to go. I know what I want to do. I know this is hands-on, and this is the route that I need to go. And plus, I can get different grants that I will not pay for anything. So they're so much more smarter when it comes to the student loan situation. Like, why would I go out there and get in loan debt when I can go here? So they've been privy to a lot of information, and a lot of them are listening. I think we as the adults, though, we have to start listening as well, and making sure that we know our children. We know them. We know what they're naturally wired to do. We've listened to them, and we understand their purpose and their passion, and we're here to support them and to guide them. So that's really one of our biggest roles, making sure we're listening, making sure we're supporting, making sure we're guiding. So again, back to it depends. That traditional formula was graduate high school, go to college, graduate college, get a good job, be good at what you do on your job and get promoted. And then, hey, you're a success. But again, the world is ever changing. We've got kids who are becoming good at what they do right now in their homes and in high school. They're earning industry recognized certifications. They're leaving high school with a new path to promotions. They've got degrees before they leave high school. Again, we just need to make sure we're educated enough, we're equipped enough, we're knowledgeable enough to make sure we're able to steer them for the best route for their individual journey. So that's really what this is about, making sure we're educated, equipped, and prepared for that. So in college planning, parents, remember we talked about youth science, use those results. They will give you some valuable information about your child and it will help you pinpoint where they need to go next. And read those communication messages that come out from the schools. I can definitely tell you, I am huge on communication. I am huge on getting the word out, getting the knowledge out. I push it. Kids know. It's on every monitor. It's on every newsletter. I'm using remind apps. I'm putting it on the website, wherever I can put it. But that's just a lot of information that's out there. You've got to read that information, and then you got to act on that information. So read those communication messages, stay in the know, make sure your kids are doing the work. That is huge. I think in the spring when we had our last senior meeting, and parents get to that part. Here it is, April, March, whatever, in that time of year, and you're sitting in this room and you see that your kid didn't complete these scholarship applications. You see that your kid didn't turn on this paperwork by the deadline, and you're like just beside yourself, like literally beside yourself, but you in public. So you just hold it in till I get to the car or whatever. But again, I need you to sit down with them and not only just think they're doing the work, but actually participate in doing that process. Don't take it all on yourself, because I got that extreme parent too. I deal with that extreme parent. They fill out every form, they sign every document, they've done everything. I've had kids that, I'm tracking down at school, like, why didn't you sign up? Why didn't you come to the College and Career Center for your appointment? You signed up for it. They're oblivious and don't even know what I'm talking about because the parent did it. And either the parent forgot they did it, forgot to tell them, they weren't paying attention to the text message the parent sent. I don't know. But work through the process with them. But don't assume all the responsibility. That responsibility belongs to them. We have to prepare them to be able to navigate in this world that we're pushing them out into. That I'm about to be 18, I'm grown. That's a whole nother discussion for another live that we'll go to. We have to prepare them for this world that we're pushing them out into. We want to learn how to guide them to this world, guide them out into the world and guide them in an effective way so that they're prepared to navigate in that world. So SAT and ACT prep courses, I know it's at a point right now where test scores are waived right now, but we don't know that to be the future. We don't know that that's going to hold. Some of the big scholarship programs that we'll talk about in a few slides, they may still be holding you to having SAT scores, ACT scores. So get your kids into those prep courses. Right now, take advantage of whoever is out there offering it for free because of COVID. I've said since the beginning, yes, this is a horrible situation that we have to navigate through and learn and process, but there are some positives that we can find in it as well. If it's out there and they're offering it for free right now, take advantage of it. Utilize it to your benefit. A lot of places are doing SAT and ACT prep courses for free. A lot of the schools advertise that or have that as a course that your child can sign up for an elective. But it's like, again, pulling teeth to get people to understand that these will be a benefit to you. Come in here and take this course. No, it's not weightlifting that you've had every semester since you've been in high school. No, it's not team sports. No, it's not this, but you're going to need this, especially as an athlete, because you got to satisfy the requirements for the eligibility center. If you don't satisfy their academic requirements, then you're not eligible to play at that collegiate level. So again, it goes hand in hand that we have to understand this. College visits. Right now, of course, that's limited, but we still can be going to YouTube University. We can follow these colleges on their YouTube channels, their Twitters, Facebook, Instagram. They have it, and they put out so much valuable information. Get to know them there. Tag them in your greatest accomplishments. Let them know that you're interested in their schools. Ask the hard questions. All the time when I bring the kids in and I bring a college rep in, they want to know what the dorm is like. They want to know what college life is like. They want to know what the meals, the cafeteria is like. And so I'm just sitting there like, I need somebody to ask how much it costs to go and how many of their students get to go off scholarship. What's their percentages? What are they offering? What GPA do you need to have? So you need to ask those hard questions as well and make sure your kids are asking those hard questions. Because yes, college life is probably going to be tired. You're going to have a great time. But again, you've got to be able to pay for that. So let's make sure we do that and make sure you're connecting with your counselors often. Remember, one important thing, that junior year transcript is the one you apply to college with. You're not your senior college, your senior transcript is your high school junior transcript. So those grades need to be really good all the way through. College planning, our teachers get in their business. They have no business. Everybody's in their business. Understand what they're doing. Make them show you the proof. Make them show you the evidence of them filling out their college applications, these scholarship tracking sheets, all of that. Actively support and attend any of the college and career planning initiatives that are on campus. And please write detailed letters of recommendation. No canned letters. Those college reps want to see details. And you might have to ask your student for a student resume so you can know what it is that they do outside of class. So be an ally in the classroom for us. Now, the last part that I'm going to talk about is paying. Paying. Very important. Know the difference between state aid and federal aid, the requirements. Know the difference between need-based and base aid, and please understand the big scholarships, teachers, parents. If you know these big scholarships, and this is just a few of them that will pay for everything. And I mean, some of these will pay for their transportation back and forth. I mean, they will take care of your child and put them through a program of mentors who follow them those whole 4 years as well. So if college is where you're going, let's make sure that we're prepared to go for free. So if you know the qualifications of these scholarships, then you know when you have a kid that meets that, hey, I need you to look at this scholarship. I need you to be doing this, that, or the other so that you can get that. So apply. Find the local scholarships, stack scholarships, search the college scholarship page. Make sure you get your FAFSA in. A lot of schools do require that, even if you don't require. And then there's tons of scholarship search engines and apps that you can use that are really, really beneficial to students where you can set up a profile and it'll send you back scholarship matches. And I always leave my school's counselor slide for the last slide because, again, they get a lot of flack saying this was the counselor's responsibilities. They have a heavy workload. They have state and federally mandated deadlines that they have to meet. Every school does not have a college and career center advisor or a college counselor that is that is dedicated just to college and career. So the more the parents, students, and teachers are prepared, the more equipped the child will be when making those final decisions. And again, this is a partnership effort. We're in this together. And in closing, again, this is my Let's Connect. You can email me at KimberlyDaniel@KeystoneInstruction.com. You can follow me on Twitter, especially if you're an educator. Twitter life is for educators. So we have a lot of good, valuable information going on and exchanging on Twitter, and that's Kim Wilson Daniel. Facebook and Instagram, you can follow me at Kimberly Wilson Daniel. I do conferences, summits, youth workshops, teacher PD, you name it. I do career and college coaching. And then, of course, my books that they mentioned in the beginning, they are actually on Amazon and Barnes and Noble. So I do have the How to Survive High School. It's for teen girls because I was one of those who needed that back then. So I made sure what I needed, I put it in a book so that kids could have it now. And then my God was waiting on me is for those women out there who just need that extra push when it just doesn't seem like, you know, your timing is here or your timing was right and you need to go back and start over. So at this time, I'm going to switch it back over to our lovely hosts. And it's time for our Bring Your Own Voice section. So I will stop sharing my screen.
Amazing. So
Yes, I'm going to.
oh no, you're fine. You're fine.
Okay.
Goodness. So I wrote notes that I was gonna start with, but that when God was waiting on me piece kind of got me in my feelings real quick. But definitely I think about 80% of us can join the payer backer club right along with you. I wish that I had known a lot of what you presented tonight when I was going off to college, because I had $500 going out of state to college, and my mom thought I was fine. You know, she packed my bags, she kissed me, she sent me along my way, and I called like 2 days later, like, Mom, I need $4,000 to register. I don't know how we're going to get it, where it's going to come from, but yeah, that's what I need.
I remember those times, being the director of financial aid, and those parents and the kids are sitting there in front of me, and I'm sitting there like my hands are like literally tied at this moment. Yeah, I know that all too well.
The information was amazing, because I know that people in our audience may be a first generation college student, or their child may be first generation. So a lot of what you presented tonight is going to be crucial for those families, for those educators that have those students in their classroom. So thank you so much for presenting this information to us. And as you mentioned, we are going to move into our BYOV. So this is the time for you to bring any questions. And I know that Tasha Clay Frazier posed the question earlier, and she asked, and I was trying to find it, but I wrote it down. She asked, is it like the ASVAB testing in the 1990s? And I think that she's referring to the
science.
Yes.
Yes, it is very similar to that. It's going to do the spatial relations, visual. It will do all of those aptitudes. It's very thorough. And so as far as the ASVAB, of course, they're using that to figure out which of the careers in the military you would best fit. These same philosophy, very accurate information. I've done it. A number of our teachers have done it. A number of our counselors have done it. So they'll know exactly what these students are going through. And that information that comes back is super, super relevant. It really is, even to us as adults.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Yes. And then we had another question. Do you recommend that students look into the academic common market? And that came from one of our presenters that was on before too, Miss Soroyer.
It definitely depends. When you're looking at the common market, a lot of times that does work out in our favor, because that we may not have that at a Georgia college. And so if it's not here at this Georgia college, I can go there and not pay an enormous amount of out-of-state fees and things like that, because again, that career or that degree is not offered in a Georgia college. So yes, by all means, and that's why I'd say it depends on your situation. Exhaust every avenue. Make sure you're doing the college, the Common App, of course, the Common Black College app, which will send your one application out to over 50 of the HBCUs. It's a true individual fit. And like, even if you're in the Georgia area, Metro Atlanta area, where you have the 5 Strong Scholarship, that is kind of comparable to the Posse, which is normally for PWIs. But if you're in the Atlanta area, you're able to do 5 Strong, and they will take care of your tuition at their select HBCU. So there's just so much out there. You just have to get started early.
Right. Awesome. Wonderful. And you're getting a lot of comments, wonderful information. And we have a question from Carrie Baree. If I'm pronouncing your name wrong, please forgive me. But she wanted to ask, are there workshops or presenters who can work with students on writing the essay?
Yes, there are. I offer them definitely through my organization. I do college and career coaching with students. So right now I'm working with 5 juniors at the moment and getting them prepared. And what we'll do is, well, they're no longer juniors, they're rising seniors. And so what we're doing is we're taking this in steps, in stages. I meet with them once a month via Zoom. And then we go through everything that they have to do. Once we get to that part, we're doing the college essays. Now, what I would suggest to you, first of all, if you're not interested in a college counselor, then you meet with that child's English teacher and you get them to read those essays. A lot of organizations will meet. I know I work with a lot of the sororities and the fraternities who have organizations or who have pilot programs or programs already in place where they meet on Saturdays. And you just need to make sure you're in the know. Again, I push that information out so heavily through our communication portals, and it is free. There is so much out there offered for your students. It's just that sometimes, again, we get sidetracked and other things get put in front of what is necessary. And then this gets pushed to the end of the totem pole or at the bottom of the rope. And then everybody wants to climb to the top of the rope or the totem pole in April. And a lot of times it's too late at that time. But yeah, the information is out there and there are people that do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll just make one comment. This is my personal testimony about having that writing center at Johnson C. Smith University, which is one of the best HBCUs in the land, by the way. But just having that opportunity to meet with juniors and seniors and also professors that were in that writing workshop that helped me to really craft my essays. And that essay that they helped me with at the writing center, it helped me to win a scholarship where I got to meet Dr. Maya Angelou during my sophomore year in college. So it is it's a very good resource. I'm a testament to that.
Awesome.
So we have another question. Are you a Dallas ISD vendor?
I am not, but if you send me the information, I can fill out the paperwork and become one.
Okay. Awesome. That's what it's all about, making connections. I hope you guys can hear me. My video is super slow on my side, but hopefully you guys can hear me. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. Experiencing some bad weather down here in South Carolina. So I once again want to thank you for coming on with us tonight. I'm going to get some help from my crew, just in case y'all can't hear me.
We're here.
All right. Yes. We could hear Isis. All right. Well, again, thank you, Ms. Daniel, for joining us this evening. The information that you shared with us, absolutely amazing, awesome, so needed. So I didn't even know what to expect from this presentation, but I was just like, oh my gosh, oh goodness. So and thank you for everything that you shared. On behalf of the L.I.V.E team, we would like to present you with a certificate. Simone, could you pull that up for us? Thank you. So this is just to acknowledge you for participating and being a presenter for the L.I.V.E summer program. We really do appreciate and thank you for your service tonight. So thank you again, Ms. Daniel.
You're welcome, and thank you again for inviting me.
And can I say to Ms. Daniel, thank you so much. You know, when we rehearsed with you and we went through some of your slides, and I was reading your bio and you was telling me, and I kept saying, you are amazing. I kept telling you there's so much that you have to offer. And let me tell you, you delivered that tonight. So thank you, Ms. Daniel, because your what you initially presented, I'm like, there's so much meat in here. And I hope everyone got that information out there. And of course, Carrie Bear Reed, you know, I'm right here in Dallas. I got you. I will connect you directly to Ms. Daniel if you need to. Make sure that happens for Dallas ISD for certain. So again, I just want to say that. Thank you, Ms. Daniel. Amazing presentation.
And Ms. Days, I want to chime in with that. First of all, you don't look like you have grandchildren. That's the first thing. Second of all, you did an amazing job. Like, as an educator, I'm definitely going to share this with like my students and my parents, even my seventh graders who are now 2020 graduates. I'm going to be reaching out to them, sharing, you know, this information because it's really good. And I always share with them, you don't have to go to college to be successful. And so you shared so much. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And yes, I'm the proud mother of 5 very grown children, and grandbaby number 8 is on the way.
Oh, all right.
Congratulations.
Woo. Yes. Again, thank you. Thank you for joining us, Ms. Daniel. You guys, again, thank you all for joining us as well. Do not forget to join us next week. Next week, we have amazing shows planned for you. We're going to be here all summer. Just in case you didn't know, we're going to be here all summer. But don't forget, next week, coming up Tuesday, July 7th, we have Jennifer Jones, Dr. Kimio Williams, and Dr. Maria Dixon. They will be talking to us, 1 in a million, creating wellness and awareness about research and how it closes the health disparity gaps with African Americans. So this is going to be some good information, some things we want to talk about. Then coming up on Thursday, July 9th, we have Dr. Monica Golson and Dr. Sonia Santelises. These are 2 incredible superintendent, female African-American superintendents, Black education, a look ahead from award-winning district superintendents. So they're going to talk to us and kind of navigate us through some COVID responses. It's just some things that we can look ahead with regard to education. So don't forget that. Also, be sure to fill out the survey. We continue to welcome your feedback. Thank you all for your feedback. It is continuing to allow us to grow and become better at presenting and giving you this information. So thank you for that. Go ahead and grab that survey link in the comments section and fill it out. And if you fill that out, just so you know, your name will be entered into a drawing for a Visa gift card. So we're going to go ahead and acknowledge our winners from last week, and they are, well, from Tuesday. Congratulations, Yolanda Morgan. Congratulations, Yolanda. Also, our second winner is Marilyn Taylor. Congratulations, Marilyn Taylor, and congratulations, Yolanda Morgan. Again, everybody, don't forget to join us next week as we have special guest panelists on both Tuesday and Thursday. We also invite you to subscribe to our podcast. We have Teacher Talk Tuesdays, so much great grand information is being shared through that podcast. So again, join us on Teacher Talk Tuesday podcast, and we'll give you a little bit more information as we get ready to go out, as well as take a look at the video of the change agents throughout the United States that are hitting the roads weekly to provide equity for all the students that we serve. So again, I'm going to welcome my team back in, and we're going to go ahead and close out. Thank you, guys. Thank you for joining us, and let's have a great day.
What I always start the school year with is that you have to be a partner with your families. We are not working in silos, we're working together. And that's what I start off with. So it first starts in the year where urging educators to reach out to their families before school starts, having that really positive foundation, because inevitably things might come up in the school year. And so starting off with a parent or guardian understanding that I am here for your child. I also think that it's been a passion of mine because they're the child's first teachers and they're the experts on the child. But however, in order to really deepen whatever I'm teaching from 7 to 3, if our parents are empowered to understand the new content, how it's taught, how I can help my baby at home, we should see the kids grow that much more. If we're learning in 3rd grade, multiplication is a huge thing. So by the parents understanding, okay, this week, can you focus on mastering his twos and these word problems? And once they get that, we keep going. That's a sandwich. Like the baby's in the middle and we kind of encompass the baby all around. I've also had to unpack that there's sometimes generational poverty and trauma that's also happened with our parents. And so it's important to seek to understand. I had a parent who never answered the phone, and I thought, like, is she blocking me? Is she leaving me on red? What happened? And then I realized that she was working at the time when I was reaching her. And so
we gotta fight against them, but we need numbers. We need to show up at school board meetings. We need to show up at county commissioner meetings. We need to have someone on the agenda to talk and know what they're talking about to advocate.
great if you're not being better than you were tomorrow than you were yesterday. So that's the whole goal, just to be better